Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to another weekend of racing here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. I won't be flying solo tonight. I've got Randy Waples, my Hall of Fame co-host, back with me. How was your day off last night?
Good. Days off are good,
Yep.
but I know I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I did watch you all night.
Okay. A lot of what did you think about the performances, though?
Oh, I thought that there were some real good ones. I thought Strobe Light was
Yep.
sensational. Really, really sensational. Big effort put in by him. And you can tell, too, like James, total confidence in that horse. At no point was he, worried about where he was going to have to race him. He just wanted to make sure he showed him clear racetrack.
Yep.
And that horse is so good right now. Who finished second to him again that come flying on him?
Kingman. The
Nice horse, Peringlam. Yeah, that one raced very well too.
It was interesting because, again, Strobe Light had a great draw to work with. He was the 2 to 5 choice, and he's such a handy racehorse, and he gets away fourth in a short field, and you get a chance to speak with James after the interview and just talked about how he was a little bit keyed up and didn't want to kind of jam him up on the gate too early. But those little things that just guys with experience, it really pays off.
Yeah, the other thing too that I picked up as well when he walked into the winner's circle there, he's going to be a brute when he's done growing.
Yeah,
that is one imposing specimen of a horse. I mean, he is put together like a semi truck. Great eye by Benoit. He can pick horses out. I'll tell you, anybody can say what they want. Have you ever seen him really have a bad looking horse?
No.
No. Me neither. He's named Doc Moore. It's like they can see what they're going to look when they buy them as babies or buy them out of the field. It's almost like they can see what they're going to look like when they're 4 and 5 years of age,
He's a little partial to the alarm detectors, obviously, but this was a $16,000 yearling purchase. Has already bankrolled over $200,000, and interesting to see whether or not they end up getting a Mohawk Million slot. I guess we'll find out on Monday if that's the case. But
I hope so.
Yeah, listen, he was third in the Wellwood behind Ardon and Magic Punk, and those are 2 really good trotters, right? So I think he's kind of earned his way up. That was a big mile last night.
Huge
first
mile.
over.
Yeah, you said what stake?
Yeah, stakes record 53 and 4, I believe, or 53 and 3. One or the other, but touched by an angel. Nice way to break your maiden last time out. You know what? Again, you speak to so many guys out there, and I think the biggest thing that guys harp on oftentimes, and you know this as well, you have to drive your horse to the best of their ability.
Yeah.
Sometimes, obviously, you have to acknowledge the toe board, but I think sometimes guys, they feel pressure to move a horse early or go to the lead early with a horse who just doesn't like it, but their favorite, right? Touched by an angel. Look, Doug had a horse who got bet down last night. He had an option to go first over. He elected not to. He stayed in. He went first over at Grand River last time. It didn't work out, but as Rob kind of alluded to it in the post-race interview, anytime you kind of race this horse a little bit hard, it just doesn't really do it. But again, that's a driver knowing his horse. He stayed in. He got lucky to get out, obviously, right? But the colt responded. That's the trip that needs to work out. And again, you have to give credit to Doug McNair for knowing his racehorse.
I texted Doug before he got to the wire last night. As soon as I seen he had the choice to make stay or move, and he elected stay, I sent him a text then. I said, good move. And it ended up working out for him. But sometimes it doesn't work for you. But where Rob was trying to tell you, I think, or what I got from it too, and trust me, it's what I know, is it doesn't matter how deep they are. It really doesn't matter. Every once in a while, you got to take a bit of a risk and give them an easy one.
Absolutely.
And he did that.
Yep.
And, if he goes to the outside, does he get there or not? I don't know. But not nearly as comfortable as what he did it last night. That was a freebie. So good move on McNair.
To me, is one of his best starts, or maybe his best start prior to last week, was that Wellwood final. Him to finish fourth in that effort, he was moving really well at the end of it. And after an effort like that, you've got some confidence going into next week's Gold at Grand River, and the trip didn't work out. But the colt just didn't have it because that's not his trip, and he was able to bounce back with a nice effort. But Rob seems to think he's going to be a pretty good 3-year-old. He's got the talent. We just haven't seen it put together consistently.
Yeah, I absolutely love the horse, and he's a dangerous horse. Obviously you've seen that last night. But if you told me which one could I have going into, say, the Mohawk Million, Strobe Light, because there's so many different. He's so big and strong. There's so many different variables. The horse of Fellows is unbelievably nice horse, but we both kind of realized too, I don't think it's going to be on front and first over are going to be his big things. He's a dangerous horse. He's going to get away in a good spot, and if Dougie finds room with him, look out.
Yeah, it's interesting to see who starts off pretty well and who starts picking up steam towards the end of the season.
2 seasons.
2 seasons, right? Right now it seems like Strobe Light is the top provincial colt, right now, especially given the mile that we saw last time out. He was a consistent player there, but he wasn't getting the job done. It was Ed Picconi's colt who was getting the job done. Some other ones.
Another great mass? Is that his name?
That's it. And, obviously the trouble with names, I thought he raced really well at Grand River.
I haven't seen him since.
When he raced in the gold, I thought he raced pretty well in that outing. So, speaking of end of the season, though, obviously we've got Breeders' Crown coming up here at the end of October, but we've also got some Breeders' Crown charity challenges, happening here locally as well. And we're going to see different guys with different, they're going to be representing different charities and different causes here. And it's going to be some of our local guys paired up with some owners here. And Bob McClure is going to be paired up with Brad Grant. Louis Waugh going to be paired up with Determination and Serge Godin. And, Bob McClure teaming up with Marvin Katz as well. And you could see all the charities that they're going to be representing. James McDonald with Team George Millar. And tomorrow night, he's going to be representing Food for Kids Halton. So, good opportunity for everybody to kind of raise some money. And James McDonald talked about it, in a video that was posted a few days ago. The sport's done a lot for so many people, especially these guys, and they really acknowledge it. They're lucky to be doing what they do. And guys speak about it openly. And James kind of said, anytime we get an opportunity to give back to the community, it's a no-brainer. So, kudos to everybody as well participating. And tomorrow, I believe it's going to be James McDonald and George Millar for Food for Kids Halton on Saturday night. So I believe there might be a booth where you can go out and get some autographs as well. I think James McDonald will be there to be signing some autographs. So come out to the track early, meet James McDonald. You get a couple of autographs from the fourth-time reigning driver of the year in Canada. And yeah, just all for a great cause.
They're all great causes, no doubt about it. I mean, Food for Kids, my big thing was always the food bank, so I see where you go that way. I think it's a great cause. But just quickly, not putting one above the other, but on the Milton District Hospital Foundation. Now, I've spent a lot of time in the Milton District Hospital. I lived in Milton for a long time, and I got hurt on the track a few times, spent a little time in there. And I'm going to tell anybody that hasn't been to Milton Hospital in a while, me and my father were there on Sunday, and we got lost in the Brad Grant wing.
Wow.
He's done so much for that hospital. The whole Grant family has done so much for that hospital. I mean, Brad, you should be really, really proud of you and your whole family for what you've done there. But I'm telling you, John, it's amazing how it's gone from a, little kind of a town sort of hospital to what it is now, and a big, big thanks to the Grant family.
Big time, a big contributor, not just within our game, but outside of our game as well. Brad Grant, just a great individual as well. Just always, anytime you want to approach him and talk anything racing, life, anything, he's always open to it. And just a great guy. And speaking of which, retired Wheels on Fire the other day.
Good.
Officially retired him, and he's going to give him a home. Just kind of spoke about how wasn't the same racehorse since that Gold Cup incident. But I mean, what a pleasure it was watching Wheels on Fire compete here on a weekly basis.
I hope somebody turns him into a riding horse, because my oh goodness, would I ever like to see somebody come out in that big brute out into the riding ring. You know what I mean? Yeah. God, he's a size and a half, that fella. Well done, Brad.
All right, speaking of some talented racehorses, we got a chance to see some talent here in the morning today, and we've got some big stars qualifying this morning. We're going to start off with Ardon. Not often you see Scott Ziron being here in the morning, but he's got plenty of reason to be here in the morning, because he's going to get a chance to qualify the William Wellwood Memorial Champion. That's Ardon. You can see Scott on the lead with this Meg Scran trainee, and there's a reason he's here, Randy. I mean, officially reported that they did pick up a slot in the Mohawk Million. They actually purchased Brad Grant's slot. So Ardon will be a name that we're going to see on Monday, as per a report on Standard Break Canada. And look at this. I mean, just looks super professional in this outing. He went faster than all the other trotters, and that included the likes of even Logan Park.
No. And I mean, the way that he's doing it and the whole deal, him and Megan, they got this horse just absolutely perfect heading into the Mohawk Million.
He spoke about how he was a little bit hot. He seems a little bit more relaxed, with each and every start, and that's a credit to what Scott and Megan have done as well. We're going to see Control the Gold winning this qualifying effort, but that's not the name we're going to be focusing on. How about the number 5 horse? That's Louis Waugh aboard Nijinsky. He's nearing back to his return, and how great is it to see him back in qualifying action, Randy? And you could see this is exactly what you could have wanted in a qualifying effort for this guy. He looks ready to me.
This guy here looks more like Nijinsky now than he did when he first come out as a 4-year-old. He's got that big gait there where all 4 feet are off the ground at the same time.
Another name we haven't seen in quite some time, Mona Lishi. You know, a 3-year-old trotting filly that
Blake McIntosh,
the O'Brien Award winner too, and there she is right now, just strutting her stuff and getting the job done. It's just nice to see her back in action. Hopefully we can see her soon.
Absolutely, you know, definitely one of my favorites ever since she came out. I don't think she's ever gone a bad race. She might have got beat a few times, but I've never seen her go a bad race.
And this was as comfortable of a qualifying score as you could have asked for. You can't even see anybody else on screen. She just absolutely dominated there. And we're going to get a chance to see also Logan Park, who qualified this morning. But this is a pretty significant qualifier as well, because you've got Fadeaway Hanover. He's in the pocket, sitting third as a Motocon Legacy. It's a couple of trotters gearing up for next Saturday's Canadian Trotting Classic final.
Yeah, they all looking good in here right now, and I've got a feeling there's not going to be a whole lot of movement in this one. I got a feeling that they're all just happy just to follow Logan along and kind of like leave it there.
Yep.
You know, nothing worse than pulling off somebody's back and starting to lose ground when you're trying to keep one brave. So I could see I wonder who McDonnell had there. He trotted well, you know, to get up alongside of those ones too.
You know, obviously we didn't show the qualifying effort, but a clean deal. Another, Kyle Fellows trainee.
Nice to see him back too.
She got it done, obviously in a dominant fashion there, and I think 52 and change, and just didn't look herself.
Not her
most
last
recent
time.
gold, falling short, but she put forth a pretty good effort. So when she comes back, her and Day, if they kind of knock heads again, it's going to be fun to watch those two fillies compete.
Yeah, for sure. We got some talent coming out in the next few months, John. It's not over yet.
No, big time. Obviously Scott Ziron coming here locally to qualify his, and then has to go to Indiana to participate in the Doherty and the. I'm not sure if he's got to drive in the Peter Houghton. I'm drawing a blank, but obviously you win those 2 stakes events, you get a bye to the Breeders' Crown. So some pretty big implications on the line as well, right? Just an added incentive to go out there and get the job done. So there's our report there on the qualifying reports, as we got a chance to see some local stars here competing this morning. But we're going to touch on the action here this evening, because we've got some stars competing tonight as well. We've got some stakes events tonight. We've got an Elegant Image Eligibles race coming up on the program as well. But we're going to kick things off here in race number 2. When we do touch on some replays. I'm getting ahead of myself. We're going to preview some stakes action, I should say.
You just want to get into this card, buddy.
I'm just looking forward to it. OSS grassroots action here, like 5 for 3-year-old pacing colts and geldings. And like I said, we've got a couple of Champlain Stakes division, Randy, for 2-year-old fillies. And we've got that Elegant Image eligibles. Again, we're going straight to a final. But some fillies wanting to get a tightener under their belts before that final next week. Our Dutch is going to be competing. Tim Teacher going to be in New Jersey. Driving some horses in the kindergarten. Jody Jamieson going to be reacquainted with our Duchess. He knows her pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. Has he drove her this year? I know he drove her a few times last year.
No.
Yeah.
Drove
He'll
her,
be interesting.
Drove her here locally. Drove her, I believe, at the Meadowlands in Lexington. Got a win with her in Lexington as well. But we've also got a preferred trot. This is a really good group. We saw Osceola get the job done last time out. Gaines Hanover, who's going to be exiting, I believe, the Maple Leaf Trot final. I love the addition of, Drawn Impression. I thought she raced really well last time out as well.
Oh, yeah. She's just seems to be rate good here. It's a deep bunch.
Yeah, really deep bunch. And speaking of those Hoosier Park Stakes events, we're going to look at the fields right now as well. And we're going to start off with the Jim Doherty Memorial here for the 2-year-old trotting fillies. Atlantic Summer, that Ron Burke trainee, is going to be the morning line favorite starting from the outside. This is a nice group here. Laney W. and Creator, a couple of Marcus Melander trainees. They're coming off some good efforts. Laney W. coming off a break, but that's a filly who's been doing some good things in Kentucky.
Yeah, no, nice group here. Racing in the Doherty, going for almost $500,000 US. So it's going to be a good race.
And we're going to look at the Peter Houghton final here, and a group of 10. Obviously, the 10 horse starting from the second tier, but the even money morning line favorite is going to be Apex. This is a son out of Mission Brief. This is by Wallner, and he's done some really good things for Marcus Melander. Won the New Jersey Classic final last weekend. He's going to be competing in the Peter Houghton Memorial. And, if all goes well, he might be here for the Mohawk Million. I know that Marcus Melander kind of flirted with the idea. Similar to Maryland, though. I mean, Maryland, he won the Peter Houghton. If that happens to be the case with this Marcus Melander trainee, he came here to Canada once again and got the job done in the million.
I see Magic Punk is in there too.
Yeah, he's in there. Yep.
Yeah, so he'd be interesting as well,
I wonder
right?
if they somehow find the slot for one of their charges. Oka's got so many talented youngsters as well.
Yeah. Oka could almost buy 10 slots.
Yeah.
And have it, call it the Oka Mohawk Million.
Magic Clunk one that we've seen here. Dublin Hanover, getting it done in the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes final. I mean, he's a really talented rookie that is in the Swanstead barn as well. But, I mean, like you said, they've got loads of talent every year on the trotting side.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. No doubt about it. They could have their own race.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to dig into tonight's action now as we speak, and we're going to go right into race number 2. And speaking of grassroots action, that's what we're going to do is kick things off there with another division here, leg 5 of the 3-year-old Pacing Colts and Geldings. I know the morning line favorite is going to be the 3-horse Blue Bar dropping out of a gold, but you have to figure that the 6-horse Out of Ice, there's a really good chance that he's going to go off as the race favorite. Was 4-5 last time out. The trip scenario never really worked out for him. But he put forth another really strong effort, even in defeat.
He did, yeah. Interesting kind of an effort, though. You know what I mean? Kind of a different sort of a way to race him. But I think he's going to be a lot better, in here tonight. So we got 2 replays to show. Which one are we showing first, Ryan?
We are
out of ice. Okay, cool. We got 2 to show. We're going to show the replay on Blue Bar in his last one as well. But Out of Ice. Now, this is what I mean. Like right off the bat, it seemed like he was, maybe not quite as aggressive with the horse, but when he does get through, does he get through with authority? I don't know. Look at here. You tell me. See?
Yeah, just it kind of got shot off there a little bit.
Sort
kind of too
but
tight
every
of a
time that he
seam.
goes one step, he's got to get into him. Usually he's, not like that. And right here, he's got clean air, but just maybe not quite as sharp. But we've seen that kind of all last week with a few of Carl's horses. There could be sickness, or maybe he just might have, getting them tuned up for the bigger races coming up. But I'm still going to put Out of Ice up on top. Now let's take a look at Blue Bar, John. This is going to be first start Lasix in a gold, August the 30th for Team Cullen. And this is a really, really nice effort. He's going to finish 5th, but he's going to pace the last quarter in 26 flat and 1 mile in 50 and 2. I think that maybe the Lasix could really help this horse. You can see Travis locked down in behind on Billy Davis's back. He finally makes a move to the inside here. He's not steaming through it, but like I said, he shows the last quarter in 26 flat. I don't know how much better he's going to get, but he's going to be second start Lasix in this race, and dropping from the golds down into the grassroots. I put him in on the bottom. I'm more interested in the second start Lasix than the drop from the golds to the grassroots, although that is a big drop down in competition. But the second start Lasix is more what I'm looking at. So I threw him in for 4th, but Out of Ice, the way I'm going to go.
I can't fault you for going Out of Ice. Look at all those wins. Those are all grassroots legs. I mean, he just prints money here in these grassroots legs. But speaking of adding Lasix, I'm intrigued by Bruno. No. I thought that was a good effort last time out, and he's going to be adding Lasix here for the first time. So this is one that I think has raced really well. I'm going to give him a whirl on top here.
You're adding paid if this guy gets through.
A horse that I think raced pretty well last time out, so why not? I mean, we've seen him leave with him in the past. He's got a good draw to work with. Maybe that's the approach Garrett Rooney takes off a really good effort, but we'll see. But I do know Out of Ice is likely going to be the one to beat here. But I thought Silver Walls, again, I mean, I have him. I don't even have him in my top 4. I thought he raced pretty well last time out in defeat. In victory, I should say.
Yeah, he raced really, really good. The big thing is, though, is Tyler going to kind of want to race them the same? I mean, he had a lot of moves last week and then ended up first over, and he just grinded them right down. Don't know if he's going to want to, go the same route there.
Century Lucifer is going to try a grassroots here. I know that's one that you don't have on your ticket, but still one that you believe can kind of piece it all together here.
I got faith in the horse. I mean, it's just the season's kind of starting to run out a little bit. So hopefully he gets it all together.
All right, we're going to move on to race number 4 here, and we've got a Champlain Stakes division here for the 2-year-old trotting fillies, and we've got a field of 9 here in this spot, and I think all eyes are going to be on the 2-horse One Bell to see whether or not she's capable of a bounce back effort. I got a chance to speak with Matt Bax prior to tonight's card, just about maybe what took place last time out. He said she just did not handle retention well whatsoever last time out.
Some don't.
She was a little bit too keyed up and rambunctious, and he feels like that played a big role. So obviously, like you mentioned, that's something that we don't even factor in, Randy. I mean, it's you look at the talent and you don't even factor in that retention, how horses are going to deal with it, especially young ones. apparently, she just did not handle it whatsoever. So they're hoping to get everything rectified for tonight, and they're, confident for an improved effort.
Yeah, see, that's kind of what happens sometimes. They'll go into retention barn, you know what I mean? And they don't really like to drink the water. Mm-hmm. It's different tasting water. Sometimes even people bring their own water that they're used to drinking, but sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes they'll go a little bit light on their food, and sometimes they don't sleep very well. They don't relax. So a lot of things can go bad, for that horse to come out and go a big mile. And I've seen it happen. I've experienced it, so I can feel Maddie's pain on One Bell. My big thing though, John, is that when she first came out, I mean, obviously everybody loved her, me being included, but I didn't notice quite the knee action that I'm starting to see now. Now it just seems like she's really ripping her front feet up off the ground real quick. You know what I mean? And I didn't notice that at first. Maybe it was always there, but I didn't notice it. So, 2 parts of the season. Maybe, she's only had a couple of starts in August or whatever. I just don't know if she's really, even as much as I like her, I don't know if she's really coming into this race on her game. So where I'm going to go on the replay that we're going to show you is Wish Upon a Star Deo. Now, this one here, I would consider to be dangerous. I don't think she's going to do anything flashy, but boy, oh boy, she can throw down. And the replay we're going to show is the final of the Pure Ivory. Now, this is interesting because One Bell wins this race and Wish You Upon a Star Deo finishes second. Mm-hmm. So let's check these two out. You can see James up front now, and Wish You Upon a Star Deo with Tyler. He's got probably 5, 6, maybe even 6.5 lengths to make up. And this is what I mean with her. I just kind of find there's not quite as much knee action here as what we've seen in her last. It just seemed like she was really pumping them legs, those front legs. And good closure on this one. We've seen her close up. We've seen her in good spots and that. Now, One Bell's coming in here with 2 races in August, and we're in September. Wish Upon a Star, she's had 3 races in August. I think she's got a little bit more, so I'm going to go Wish Upon a Star Deo. You?
I went to One Bell. I pegged her as a bounce back or a rebound candidate here. That was a tough trip. She got parked out the entire mile. They were going some quick panels early, and I think she had a license to get tired. But obviously, those comments from Matt Bax, there's probably a reason why she looked a little bit keyed up.
Do you know much about this girl?
This Denarius, this filly, she's got some go. I'll tell you that much. The qualifying efforts with Domenico were strong. The career debut was a strong one. This was a really game effort and defeat. Busy Miss Lissy, she's been a really nice filly for Team Svanstedt as well. She was actually supposed to be in the other division. She was a late scratch out of that Champlain Stakes, so we would have gotten a chance to see that Svanstedt trainee locally here. But this Denarius, she's got some wheels, Randy. 27 flat coming first over last time out and gaining on a pretty sharp filly. She's talented.
Yeah, I threw her in on the bottom. I don't know much about her, and I left some other horses off my ticket. I left the 4 off, the 5 off, The 6 been racing very, very well for Rod Hughes and Chris Jr. There's a lot that I left off, but Denarius I did throw. Don't know much about it, but did like the replays.
Yeah, I think she's going to be a major factor in this spot, but I opted to go to One Bell, hoping maybe we can buy back some value from that tough trip in the Peace Away final. And this filly's got talent, right? I'm not going to let one effort kind of dictate me from going elsewhere. But Bingo Night, I thought she raced really well.
That was what I was going to ask you about too.
Her last 2 efforts have been sharp. She's been sharp all year. 3rd.
Me too.
Yeah.
So you like the 2 and the 3 the best? Bingo Night.
I like the 2 and the 7. I like the 2 and the 7 the best. The 2 and the 7 for second. But you know what? Wish Upon a Star Dale. That was a really good effort in that Peaceful Way final. I know she got beat 8 lengths. She had a tough draw to work with. Still moving really well at the end of it. I got a chance to see Susie Curwood as I was walking out for the interview, and she was just all smiles. How could she not be? This filly has raced really, really well for them and just seems to be getting better and better. The competition has gotten steeper, but she's held her own.
She's held her own. Yeah, no doubt about that.
Looking forward to that Champlain Stakes division. That kicks off the Pick 6 sequence. We're going to move on to race number 6, and this kicks off the late Pick 5 sequence. When we spoke about the Elegant Image, we've got an Elegant Image eligibles race here, a field of 7. The morning line favorite is going to be Our Duchess, and we kind of spoke about it briefly. Jody Jamieson going to be reacquainted with this daughter of Father Patrick, and Susie Curwood is going to take over training duties for the 2nd consecutive week here locally. this filly to me she's so much more sharper. She's so handy, and she just looks more and more professional with each and every outing.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I threw her in for second,
Okay.
our Duchess. I'm going to go Lasting Dream. And let's take a look at the replay on Lasting Dream in her last, where she races against our Duchess. You know, they both had a couple of moves to make. Here's my thing, my on it there is I'm not 100% sure if maybe, you know, Louis didn't turn this into a bit of a sprint. Middle half and 58-3. I don't know if you want to do that with this thing sitting on your back. You know, and I think that that's kind of what happened here, you know. And then, you know, Yannick makes a break on the outside. So there's Louis got no pick anymore. Now he has to take this thing on that's been sitting on his back full throttle. And, you know, watch Tetrick's body language. He's going to win this, but just watch the way that Tetrick drives a horse. I mean, you wouldn't even know he was back there if you're the horse. How quietly he gets this job done, you know. And Louis, too. Louis hardly doing a whole lot there either, you know what I mean? But it's just, you know, just very, very quietly, and I think that horses respond in a big way to that. But I'm thinking that maybe Louis might be able to keep her close to our Duchess again. Lasting Dream, this is, you know, she's used to being up here. Our Duchess obviously left up here a few weeks now with Susie Kerwood. I'm still going to give a chance here with Lasting Dream.
Yeah, I picked Lasting Dream on top last time out, and, you know, sprint or not, I still thought she had the opportunity to get the job
Absolutely.
done. I think she'll be sharper coming to next Saturday's final, though. That's what I mean. We always see Luke Blaze trainees. He's got them on their toes for the final, and I think this one's going to be even sharper. But I'll tell you what, she's had a really strong sophomore campaign as well. I mean, she had a good really good rookie campaign. She took on some pretty tough ones all season long, but this is one that I think is having a really nice sophomore campaign as well. We never even mentioned Global Heritage. The last time we saw her here, she was on Canadian soil, and she really, I mean, it was a sprint, but she sprinted away from those rivals. And again, this was a filly who was taking on Overnight Company at Plainridge, steps up here in a stakes event and says, no problem.
Yeah.
So she's I mean, Domenico Cetre, I mean, he always does such a great job with his youngsters. And this is another filly that's coming into this event sharp.
Yes, no doubt about that. This is going to be a really nice race.
And Zed Athena, obviously a supplement here to the Peaceful Way, Elegant Image, I should say. And, you know, made a miscue off the gate last time out. This is going to be a big test, but 2 starts back, she was second beaten a neck by our Duchess. So I think that start gave, you know, the ownership and Justin Turcotte, you know, the confidence to say she belongs with these.
Yeah, I think she belongs with them. But the only thing, I didn't use her in here. I just was a little bit cautionary because I kind of thought last week there she was showing a little soreness, and that's why she run. Okay. She was kind of wound up a little bit, you know. And that's kind of why. So we'll have to see if he's got her better. But I elected to pass. All
right. I used her underneath, just kind of, you know, waiting to see maybe what kind of effort she puts forth here tonight from an inside draw. I think some of those other fillies to her outside.
She's got the ability.
She definitely does. Really good efforts by her this season. We're going to move on to race 7, and that's the second leg of the late pick 5. This is also our other Champlain Stakes division for 2-year-old trotting fillies. You know, I found this to be a pretty wide open affair, though. I ultimately landed on the 4-horse, the 2-to-1 morning line favorite, Shimmering Hanover. We've always liked this filly. We've liked the way she debuted. She's a handy filly, Randy. She's just gotten, you know, beat by some other horses who maybe seem like they're a notch above right now. But I think sooner rather than later, I think she's going to get the job done. I'm hoping tonight's the night.
Yeah, I put her up on top, too. Okay. I kind of like the way that they raced her in the Peaceful Way. He stretched her out. Yep. She got run. You know what I mean? You know, if anything, she should be a little bit stronger in this race. So I'm also good draw to work with, so I'm also going to throw her in there. The replay that we're going to show you, though, is what I would consider to be an it horse. Now, this is a horse that, you know, obviously hasn't had to face maybe the talent of some of these Grand Circuit fillies, these American-bred fillies, but she's been racing very good in the Golds, our top provincial program. That's going to be Barbara May, and I love the way that this girl moves. My goodness, does she ever have a nice way of going, and she's so powerful. I just think that she's just going to get better and better, and I think that we're catching her on it kind of form. In other words, I think that she can jump up and take this race down, and just look at the way that she's trotting, and the body language on Dougie too. I just think that she is really progressing exactly the way that they want. I've seen nowhere even close to the end of her. I'm going to throw her in for second, Barbara May. I think that Shimmering Hanover, you she's a big bruiser. Maybe that last start going down the road, tiring her out, maybe might make her a little bit better. So I'm going to put Shimmering Hanover up on top, but wouldn't be surprised to see Barbara May come up with another, really, really nice effort. That was a maiden that I showed you. So far, she hasn't been able to get the job done in golds, but she's really, really close to it. And every time I see her, to me, she looks like she's taken another step forward to being an even better horse.
I think it speaks volumes of the fillies we have here locally as well. I mean, Bingo Night again was second in a big Grand Circuit event. Was second last time out at the Gold. She hasn't been able to beat the top ones just yet, Barbara May, but she's sticking around. Last time out, you could argue she should have been second in that Gold at Grand River. She worked out. I mean, Doug worked out a perfect trip for her. Bingo Night had to work a little bit harder and still was able to, pick her off to be second. But again, she's always right there, and she's got a good draw to work with. Look, she's a main player in this spot, big time. I mean, she's going to have a really good shot to get the job done here. And Garnet Barnsdale electing to go with her on top, you and I putting her in for underneath. I want to ask you about A Splash of Green, though. That career debut was eye-catching. I mean, she romped in that score with James McDonald in the Tompkins gear in 56-1. She came back after a qualifying effort to get the job done in 57-2. I didn't see that same level of pop or same level of authority that I saw in that Tompkins gear, division. And that was in a maiden. You could probably argue it was a softer group. But this filly's got talent. I just, she's one that I saw a little bit more pop from earlier on.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. Where is she at? She's not the same filly that when she first came out. She's all of a sudden, showed a couple of those breaks. Obviously, she went through a little bit of a lull, but sometimes that can be like growing. She's only a 2-year-old, so sometimes that can just, they'll start to grow partway through their season, and there's nothing you can do about it other than just to let them grow, and they get sore, just like a kid. They just get soreness everywhere, and sometimes they don't deal with it. So she's had a little bit of time. He went real light with her, Blake, and only 5 starts so far this year, so I still think that there's another back half yet of Splash of Green. I just don't know if tonight's going to be her 100% ready to go, so I threw her in for third.
One that I didn't slot underneath, but I tell you what, it's so valuable to have a young trotting filly who's handy, because you can pick up good pieces. Timeless. I mean, she's hit the board in 3 consecutive tries. Obviously shows handiness, shows the ability to stay at it. That's how you make money, especially if you're a young trotter.
She is, racing really good, was on my horse to watch list as well. Didn't use her in here. The one I used on the bottom is I'll Have the Red. Yep. I think that this one's another one that showed an awful lot of talent when Ricky first brought her out. Kind of went through a little bit of a lull there, but now she's come back with a nice qualifying win there. I'm not putting her as a win candidate, because I think he's kind of like, more or less moving forward again. But I think that the ability's there for this daughter of Chapter 7.
She's only competed in stakes events as well, and that's going to continue here this evening. We're going to move on to race number 9 here, and we spoke about our preferred trot. We've got a really nice group here, a field of 9. 3-1 morning line favorite is going to be Osceola, getting it done last time out in that $60,000 open that we had last week. And Doug McNair had one drive that evening. He came in for this guy late in the card, got the job done. And you always spoke about that he's not too far away from the top trotters, in the past. I mean, he's proven that he's really become he was a talented 2- and 3-year-old. He's become a really solid aged horse as well.
He is, no doubt about that. Every year he gets better and he gets better, and nobody gets along with him as good as McNair. Dougie, he knows this horse. He just performed. They performed so well together. I'm going to throw him in for second, coming in here with a really good day. Big win in his last start, picks up Dougie again there. But I'm going to go to a horse that I used to, have a big things with, and that's Gaines Hanover. Okay. That's where I'm going to go tonight, and he's going to be worth a look, because I do think that he can there's going to be a few other horses in here taking a lot more support than Gaines Hanover.
I would have to think. I think Osceola's going to go off as the race favorite. I think Amigo Volo's going to take some support too. Obviously, James having to go to hasty bid because...
What about Fashion Frenzy this week? Now, that was a bit of a mystery to me there last week. How a horse could race so good 2 weeks ago and then come out the very next week there and have not a bad race, 27-1, only got beat 2. But look at the wagering side, John. He goes from bet down to nothing to $17.
That's why I said last week, make it make sense. I mean, I know Louis opting to go to a different rival in that spot. He was going to a determination, horse and drawn impression. But I mean, that driver change, given the performance, I mean, it shouldn't make that much of a difference
Not
in the
that
wagering.
much.
I know people are going to favor, if Louis aboard Fashion Frenzy a little bit more, but I tell you what, the horse crushed 2 starts back. was the race favorite, got bet down to 4-5 over Amigo Volo, who I think you and I would have said for sure would go off as the race favorite. And here he is at 17-1 and just wasn't really a factor. I mean, I found that to be, I think everyone watching was pretty perplexed about
I had him on top.
Yeah.
You know?
How could you not after that most recent try, right?
Exactly. And I didn't mind the driver change. Now, JR is going to come back and, take another chance with this guy. Like I said, he didn't race bad. He only got beat 20, more or less bookended at 27 seconds, around 52. But the week before, it just seemed like he could have went around 10 times and they weren't going to catch him.
Exactly.
So I don't really know which one we're going to show up with.
Yeah, I wonder what we're going to see here from. I'm pretty confident to say from a wagering standpoint, I think Osceola will go off as the race favorite. I'd be pretty shocked if anything else different happened in that race. But I'm really impressed with Drawn Impression. I thought that was a really good effort. I'm going to put her on top and hope that she can work out a pretty good trip. She had a long way to go and she was gaining with each and every stride.
She's got incredible speed.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go to race 10 here, and we're going to close out this late pick 5 here. We've got some more grassroots action here. The 3-horse Tip of Time is going to be the 2-1 morning line favorite. Just 1 for 15 this year. He's dabbled in the golds. He was a second beaten ahead in a grassroots try 2 starts back. You and I both going to go in different directions. I know there's one horse in particular that caught your attention last time out. He's a little bit camera shy, but he's been racing really well.
Yeah, Grin and Win, 0 for 15 so far this year, 2 for 8 last year. It seems like he loves the seconds, 5 seconds last year with the 2 wins. This year, no wins and 7 seconds to deal with. But sooner or later, this little guy's going to find his way through. I think Heather Pickett's done an amazingly great job with this horse. So let's take a look at the last race for Grin and Win. And Billy Davis, Billy coming right back with this guy again here tonight. So right at this point, the head of the lane, that's Silver Walls in the 2-hole. And that's going to be Billy Davis with Grin and Win down in on his back. Now, if Silver Walls going to get up through here, he's going to come up with a big effort when he gets through here. But Mr. Davis is not going to be so fortunate. He's not going anywhere. So right now you can see Tyler lugging this guy off the rail. That leaves Billy down on the inside. And watch what happens here. Uh-oh, we got nowhere to go. So now we're in reverse and he can't do anything but just sit there. It's not even the matter that the horse didn't get through. Number one, that's going to help his confidence. But the big thing is his energy level. He's going to come out of that race and he's going to be like completely non-tired because he didn't get raced very hard. So that's what I'm kind of going with this. 0 for 15 this year. Sooner or later, he's going to win a race. Why wouldn't it be the one where he didn't get raced very hard the week before? So that's where I'm going.
And would you not say that this grassroots division is softer than the other one?
Yes.
I mean, look at the horses he's been competing against. Franco Santana, who's been razor sharp, out of ice a couple of times. 5th and 5, he was second to him, he's worked his way back up to a gold level. Silver Walls. He doesn't have to face any of these in this spot.
No, he's got leaving ability.
Exactly. So he's over 15. 7 second place finishes, but they've all been behind horses that are probably, arguably the best in this division. So I think this is a really good spot for him. I think I've got him in for second. I do like Better Deal Me In. I thought that was a trouble trip last time out. He looked like he wanted some room up the inside last time out as well. I know Garnet going with him as a spot player. I've got Grin and Win in for third. I forgot about that. But I still like that selection. He's still in my pick 5 because I think that this is a horse, to your point, is razor sharp. But I think this Jody Cullen training, I think this one could be sitting on a pretty big win. He was locked in on the inside his last 2 starts. Didn't really get a chance to get out last week. 2 back he did get out, and I thought he was moving forward late. But Grin and Win, this is going to be the best opportunity he's ever had in quite some time to pick up win number 1 this year tonight, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, listen, it's a tough race because, I'm using Shadow of an Angel in for second. He could easily jump up with a big effort and get there. He's on form as well. All
right, so there's our thoughts here on this 11-race program. We're going to dig in and talk some pick 5 action here. And Randy, you're going to be up first. Let's go through your ticket.
Okay, so, John, in race number 1, I'm going to go Chief's Dream Girl and Setting a Precedent. Okay. I think I got that pretty well labeled down. I like Salzburg Olympia and Shoot the Whiskey too, but these are the 2 that I'm going to concentrate the most on, especially Chief's Dream Girl. I think this is a nice race for alling it in race number 2. I mean, if Out of Ice performs like normal, then, he could be a free square in here. But if Bruno No and Blue Bar jump up with big efforts, or Silver Walls comes back with a big effort, I'm looking to get paid. So I'm going to all that one. Race 3, single time, Venus and Serena. I think that's a pretty much of a free square myself. Boy, going into the maiden with her. Race number 4 is going to be Wish Upon a Star Dale. This is the separator separator right here, John. I didn't even put One Bell up on my ticket. I'm going to single this filly and just hope that, she's good to go and gets the right kind of trip. And then in race number 5, I went with Mr. Magic and Kevin Anthony, but Kevin Anthony going to be my top selection.
I'm with you on Kevin Anthony tonight. And my pick 5 is going to be 3-4 in the opener. You know what? Louis Wan setting a precedent, Randy, 16 times behind her. Trips to the winner's circle 7 times.
Ooh,
he gets along with this mare really well. So she's been hovering around getting the job done, but she seems to get along with Louis really well. Race 2, I'm going to go 3 deep. I'm going to go 3, 4, 6 in race number 2. I'm going to single Venus and Serena as well. That's a really good spot for her to get the job done. Mm-hmm. I'll go all in on One Bell. I'm going to peg her as a rebound candidate here, and we know the talent that she possesses, but it is a really good group. So she's got to bounce back in a big way tonight. In race number 5, I'll just go 3 deep, head of the class, Mr. Magic, back in this optional 20,000, and Kevin Anthony, who gets a bit of post relief tonight.
Okay.
And some late pick 5 ideas. You've got a bookend singles, and you kind of mentioned the 1 and the 10th, but you're kicking it off with a single in race number 6 as well.
Yeah, Lasting Dream. I'm going to take a chance with her, I think that our Duchess is going to go off as the favorite, and maybe I'm valuing Global Heritage a little cheap. I loved her in here in last, but I love Lasting Dream as well. So I'm going to start it off with that, and then in race number 7, I'm going to go Shimmering Hanover and Barbara May. Race number 8, 2 deep, and that's going to be Laneside in Control and Eternal Delight. Now, race number 9, I'm gonna all this one. I got Gaines Hanover up on top. I mean, if somebody happens to jump up, because I could see Fashion Frenzy coming back with a rebound effort.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And in 6-1 morning line, I could see Drawn Impression getting the job done. I could see Safe Conduct getting the job done, going from steel to flip flops. That could help him. So there's just a million ways to go in race 9. I'm going to single it and then grin and win. 0 for 15, John, and I'm singling.
All right, my pick 5 ticket idea is my late one. I'm going to go all in on our Duchess. I think this filly's razor sharp. I think if she gets things her own way, she could be tough. I'm going all in on Shimmering Hanover as well. I think this is a really good spot for her tonight. Race 8, I'm going to go 3 deep. Laneside in Control. I like the way Rock Shadow raced. I mean, I think they made a bridle change last time out. Travis Henry drove her a little bit differently in that spot, and I thought she raced really well. And Eternal Delight was... she crushed last time out, so I think she merits respect. Race 9, I'm going to go Drawn Impression and Osceola. I feel confident about having one that's likely going to be sitting in the 1 or 2 position early on. But I think Drawn Impression, if the pace collapses, I think she could pick up the pieces. And race 10, I'll go 3 deep. I mentioned Tip of Time. He draws well. Better Deal Me In. And Grin and Win. I like his chances here in this spot tonight. So a couple of different ideas between you and I tonight. But I think a pretty good card overall.
Yeah, race number 4 is the big in that early
Big
pick
time.
5 separator for both of us, right? You keyed...
One belt.
You keyed One Bell. I keyed Wish Upon a Star Dale. So that's going to be the nitty gritty race.
I will say. All right, we touched on tonight, but we're gonna look ahead to tomorrow as well, and we've still got some stakes action as well tomorrow. We've got a couple of big eliminations for the pacing colts and some pacing fillies, and we're gonna look at the She's a Great Lady elimination here for the 2-year-old pacing fillies. Morning line favorite is gonna be the 6-horse Lua Deepa. And James McDonald's going to get an opportunity to sit behind this homebred of Team Burke, a full sister to Looks Good and Lulu.
Yeah, nice little compact field here, but a good one nonetheless.
Perfect thought. She's been razor sharp as well for Megan Scran and Scott Zeron. She's razor sharp. In the other division, we're going to get to see a lot of local hopefuls here. Jen Tilley installed as the morning line favorite. She was second in her most recent outing. Dea as well was a runner-up finisher. Different dimension last time out, came from off the pace, but I still thought she raced really, really well.
She did race very well. TH checked me out. I think she picked up James.
Yeah, okay.
I think, you know, and then
you like that
Summer.
you like that filly.
Do I ever?
All right, the Metro Pace Elims here for the 2-year-old pacing colts, and Bojangles is going to be the morning line favorite. A lot of nice colts here in this group, though.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's going to have to be on his game. I know his game is more than anybody else's right now, but... you know, there's always dangerous horses in there, you know, and if you get a little too cute with Bojangles, maybe somebody's going to be able to pick up the pieces.
And the other elimination, again, we hook Frantic Hanover, another undefeated colt, the son of Stay Hungry.
I can't wait to see this one on Canadian
If he
soil.
wins and Bojangle wins, we're going to have 2 colts coming into that lucrative final undefeated, and 2 colts who look like arguably the best in the division.
I haven't seen anybody any better than those 2 so far, consistently.
Yep.
I'm not saying horses can't jump up, but consistently, they are the 2 that seem to be able to get the job done.
And this is a final that we're going to have one of the headliners, or the headliner of tomorrow night, is Twinbee Joe Fresh and Sylvia Hanover. the last time you got to see these two compete in the Roses Are Red, Twinbee Joe Fresh probably had the quite the advantage. But I thought that was the turning point for Sylvia Hanover. I believe she was second in that outing, but that's kind of when she started turning things around. And I'd say advantage Sylvia as of right now. But Twinbee Joe Fresh, those qualifying efforts leading up to this race, Randy, oh boy.
The last qualifying effort for her, wasn't the last score in 25 flat?
Yeah. I mean, she looks ready, I'd say.
She's ready. Got the game face on,
And I think she draws better as well, so she gets
definitely. That's the thing that could make a big difference. Sylvia drawing the rail.
Earlier on in the day, though, I mean, Dexter Dunn coming here just for the one drive, Randy, but he's also going to be at Yonkers competing in some stakes event. They've got a great card that kicks off, I believe, at 12 or so tomorrow afternoon. This is their headliner, the Yonkers International Trot. And Burke's got a couple of trainees here in the spot. Lexus Cody setting a Canadian record here, obviously on the trot side, and that Maple Leaf Trot victory. But how about Eidos Kronos, Periculum here in the spot? We've got some really talented imports as well. I mean, this is a really good group.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Southwind Coors, unfortunately, he has to draw the outside. It would have been nice to see that gate speed of his employed. Don't know if they're going to be able to flash it from, outside of the gate.
All right, there's a look at the Yonkers International Trot as we're nearing the start of this Friday night program. We're going to get you set here momentarily. We'll be skipping plays of the night. You can catch that on social media on our Twitter account, Woodbine Mohawk Park. But Randy and I will be here all night to take you through tonight's action. Good luck.